The drama begins with a handsome and popular 4-star chef named Sheng, who has never lost any competition. He stands before several other 4-star chefs in a unique competition, where the losing chef must hand over their knife to the winner, symbolizing that the loser will close their restaurant for life. During the competition, Sheng begins cooking with his impeccable skills, while the other chefs are also preparing their dishes. Both sides' dishes look amazing in terms of appearance, but Sheng cleverly gains an extra point in presentation with the help of a fire touch-up, impressing everyone. After the cooking testing phase starts, the judges collectively praise Sheng's dish, declaring him the winner. The news shocks the opposing chefs, who must now close their restaurant as per the competition's rules, a place they've nurtured for years. In their emotional turmoil, they lash out at Sheng, hurling insults. However, Sheng, grasping the defeated chef's knife, remains unperturbed by their words. His sole focus is on his triumph, disregarding their sentiments. Placing the knife among the others he has won from previous victories, Sheng solidifies his dedication to winning above all else. According to tradition, when a 4-star chef defeats 22 other 4-star chefs, they ascend to become a 5-star chef. Following this competition, Sheng achieved the prestigious status of a 5-star chef. His accomplishment attains widespread attention in newspapers, as winning such a high number of competitions at a young age is unbelievable. A few years ago, reaching 5-star status required winning 10, 12 competitions. However, under the new rule, Sheng's ascent to 5-star status after winning 22 competitions is a remarkable feat, earning him widespread recognition and appreciation. At the same moment, the female lead named Lisa arrives with a bucket of fish at the 5-star restaurant she works at. Her friend Danny appears and asks where she has been, informing her that the master is waiting for her. Suddenly, Master Kong also appears and asks Lisa to bring the fish inside. In the next scene, we find Sheng sitting in a car, discussing the upcoming competition with his assistant. She questions why, since he has already achieved the status of a 5-star chef, he still desires to compete. Sheng responds, explaining that his goal is to defeat Master Kong, who is also a 5-star chef, due to personal grudges he holds against him. The story moves to the past. When Sheng was a child, he persistently asked Master Kong to adopt his younger sister, who aspired to become a chef. Sheng offered to pay Master Kong for this arrangement, but Master Kong rejected his offer and left. In the present, Sheng recalls these moments, becoming deeply emotional. Now his desire is to crush Master Kong's pride by winning a competition against him and shutting down his restaurant. On the other hand, while Master Kong was cutting fish, Lisa approached him and inquired about learning to cook. She mentioned that she had been working here for 6 months and was eager to start learning. Master Kong replied, "At the right time, I will teach you." Later, both Lisa and Danny attended to all the customers, which left them feeling tired. In the next scene, Lisa is seen standing at her stall at night. An uncle beside her asks her if she doesn't want to go home, especially now that she has a job at a 5-star restaurant. He wonders why she still opens her stall here. Lisa responds, saying that she wants to become a better chef. She then begins offering her dishes to customers. At this moment, Sheng enters and orders fish noodles. Lisa regretfully explains that they are out of fish, but Sheng insists on having the dish. Taking initiative, Lisa arranges to obtain fish from another stall and begins slicing it for the noodles. As she works, she notices Sheng observing her cutting technique, which makes her slightly uncomfortable. Trying to lighten the atmosphere, she jokingly assures Sheng that there is no poison in his meal. Sheng, in response, points out that she is using an incorrect cutting technique and suggests a 50-degree angle for better results. Following his advice, Lisa finds the task significantly easier. Excited by the improvement, Lisa asks Sheng if he has culinary expertise. Sheng remains silent, and after a while he notices another mistake in Lisa's approach to cutting the fish. Rather than pointing it out, he simply takes a seat at the table, patiently awaiting his noodles. While everyone is eating, a patrol van suddenly appears, making everyone rush away since opening stalls there is not allowed. Lisa hurries to gather her belongings, leaving Sheng shocked as he asks about his noodles. She reassures him that she will make them for him next time, but then mischievously pulls the chair out from under him, causing him to fall to the ground. With a quick rush, she leaves the scene, leaving Sheng standing there, confused. As Sheng prepares to leave, Lisa arrives in her vehicle and is surprised to find him still there. She asks if he wants to have the fish noodles now, but Sheng ignores her. Seeing his reaction, Lisa apologizes, explaining that if she hadn't left earlier, she wouldn't have been able to reopen the stall. After her explanation, she apologizes again, and Sheng accepts her apology. Lisa then immediately starts preparing the fish noodles for him. As she approaches Sheng to hand over the bowl, the patrol van suddenly appears again, causing her to rush away without properly delivering the bowl to him. Sheng stands there, his expression turning to anger as he wonders what is wrong with her. The next day, it rains heavily, Sheng parks his car in front of Master Kong's restaurant. At the same time, Lisa also arrives to check on the car, but she doesn't find anything inside. Sheng sits comfortably in his car, watching Lisa's actions and wondering why she is looking at it when she can't see anything. After a while, Master Kong also arrives and takes Lisa inside with him. Sheng's assistant asks if she should go inside too, but Sheng says no. Maybe he wants to talk to Master Kong alone. Maybe this was the reason Sheng arrived at the restaurant before it opened, because there are no customers yet to see. Master Kong recognizes the famous young chef who has just become a 5-star chef and welcomes him. Sheng, however, clarifies that he is there not to test the dish, but to challenge Master Kong. Master Kong is a little surprised and then accepts the challenge. The scene then shifts to the battle competition, where Sheng gets busy with preparation. Suddenly, Danny comes running, points towards Sheng, and asks Master Kong, what is he doing here? Lisa, curious about the situation, asks Danny if he is a fan. Danny replies that he isn't a fan but knows about Sheng, and then he inquires with Master Kong about the possibility of Sheng challenging him. Upon hearing Master Kong's affirmative response, Lisa's curiosity is piqued, and she approaches Sheng, and they go outside to talk. Lisa inquires if Sheng deliberately came to her stall the previous day, despite knowing that she is Master Kong's disciple. Day confirms that he did so because of his curiosity about Master Kong's cooking techniques, which he must have taught his students a student. Sheng says that he found out that Lisa doesn't know even the basics of cooking, and she mentions that he hasn't tasted her dish. Sheng tells her that he saw the unorthodox style of her cooking, such as adding unsuitable spices and haphazardly cutting vegetables. He believes that the taste of her dish must have been unpleasant as well. These observations leave Lisa feeling irritated. As Sheng is about to depart, she raises doubts about his competition with Master Kong and his intention to take the knife. She reminds him that Master Kong hasn't faced any competition in years due to his old age. She requests him to wait, as Master Kong has promised to pass down the knife and appoint her as the restaurant's head chef. She tells Sheng to wait till she gets the restaurant, and then he can challenge her. He replies that he has no interest in her, and Lisa becomes even angrier upon hearing this. As the tension escalates, it's clear that the situation has reached its peak, prompting her to leave. Next, the scene shifts to the competition venue, where both chefs are tasked with preparing fish noodles. The judges will then evaluate and determine the superior dish. Master Kong chooses to have an assistant in the form of Lisa. However, Sheng refuses any assistance, preferring to work solo. The competition commences with both chefs focused on crafting their dishes. Their knives, significant to every chef, are prominently displayed. The significance lies in the chef's long history of using the knife, creating numerous memories tied to it. This emotional attachment makes it difficult to pass on the knife when someone loses. Both chefs possess great skill, and Master Kong entrusts it to Lisa for cutting the fish without a warning. Lisa initially hesitates, expressing that she is not prepared. Master Kong responds by indicating that if they lose, Lisa can never use the knife. Lisa promptly expresses confidence, assuring the master that he will emerge victorious. Despite initial hesitation, Lisa eventually utilizes the knife on that occasion. As the master continues instructing her, she keeps cutting the fish. On the other hand, Sheng is also working on his fish. He glances at his opponents and then returns his focus on his cooking. After a while, it is clear that Sheng has made significant progress, and so has Lisa. Both have almost everything ready. Sheng uses steam to cook the fish, while Lisa employs all the techniques her master has taught her. However, just as she reaches the final step, Master Kong stops her, and Lisa questions why is he stopping her when there are still more steps. The master explains that he wants to complete the dish himself due to a past story involving Sheng. Lisa quietly moves and sits near Danny, who is surprised at her sudden return. He asks why did she return without finishing the dish so abruptly. The host then indicates that time is running out and there are only a few minutes left. Sheng and Master Kong swiftly plate their dishes with a final touch-up. Both of their creations are ready, and all three judges taste them. Danny and Lisa are visibly nervous, especially when Sheng receives the first vote, causing them to grow more anxious. However, when Master Kong secures the second vote, they breathe a sigh of relief. The tension escalates as the final vote approaches. Ultimately, Sheng wins the last vote, much to Danny and Lisa's disappointment, indicating a significant upset. The judges acknowledge that both dishes are good, but Master Kong's mistake lies in the flavor profile. When Lisa hears this, she recalls an incident involving the time when she and Master Kong worked together, resulting in an accidental oversalting of a dish. So she went to consult a doctor, who explained to her that a disease has affected Master Kong's taste buds. The doctor advised Lisa to bring Master Kong to him for examination. However, Master Kong could not manage to see the doctor at that time. The narrative then transitions to the present, where Master Kong also samples Sheng's dish. Impressed by its quality and taste, He expresses surprise at Sheng's culinary skills. Sheng responds by saying he has surpassed him. This triggers memories for Master Kong, causing him to reflect on their past interactions and how Master Kong had treated him in his childhood. Sheng asks Master Kong if he remembers that moment, and Master Kong confirms that he remembers everything and then proceeds to praise Sheng's dish as excellent. Following this, he announces Sheng's victory, stating that he truly deserves it. Afterward, he hands the knife to Sheng, who accepts it happily. This scene upsets Lisa, Danny, and some viewers. Everyone was in a state of shock that how Master Kong lost this competition, and Lisa also how her master could lose this competition. Sheng leaves the event happily, instructing his assistant to bring the car. Lisa approaches him and inquires if he already knew that Master Kong couldn't identify the flavors properly. Sheng confirms her suspicions. Lisa then comments that Sheng would have been the loser if Master Kong had been in perfect health, emphasizing that he wouldn't have had a chance against them. Sheng says now he has won the competition, so these things do not matter, which makes Lisa even angrier. Suddenly, Master Kong calls her name and asks her to come back. Sheng seems surprised because he feels that he knows this name. He asks Lisa to confirm if her name is really Lisa. Instead of saying yes directly, she angrily asks him to mind his business before leaving. After Lisa leaves, suddenly Sheng receives a photo of a girl on her phone, and it's the photo of Lisa. Sheng is astonished to see that because he and Lisa were best friends in the childhood in the orphanage school. But after growing up, when he came back in the orphanage, he got to know that Lisa had already left after the graduation. The teacher there said she will send him the photo of Lisa, and now that he realizes that his childhood best friend is Master Kong's student, he just stands there in shock. In the next scene, Danny starts asking Master Kong about his plans after closing. Master Kong replies that he will stay with his sister, mentioning that she had been calling him for a long time. Then, Master Kong advises Danny that he should build his career as soon as possible because he isn't good at anything. Upon hearing this, Danny starts laughing, trying to make Master Kong happy. However, Lisa, sitting there, looks sad for Master Kong. Nonetheless, Master Kong stands up and tells them to get ready and start working since the restaurant will close tomorrow, not today. He then enters the kitchen and begins doing his work, pretending everything is fine. However, after losing, he feels Bro Danny inside. Lisa arrives and informs him about the table. Seven wants noodles. When Master Kong extends his hand to pick up his knife, he remembers that it has already been ta-Danny by Sheng during the battle. This realization brings sadness to him once again, which Lisa can feel while looking at Master Kong. The next day, according to the rule, Master Kong's restaurant is shut down, and the signboard is ta-Danny away. The restaurant had been open since 1822, passed down from generation to generation of his family. Now its closure saddens Master Kong deeply. Danny bids them goodbye and walks away, but Lisa decides to go with Master Kong. While they are walking together, one of them helps a street vendor by pushing his stall on the highway. This reminds Lisa of a time when Master Kong helped her and tried to convince her to work at his restaurant. He offered her more salary, but she said no because she thought he couldn't afford it, but Master Kong kept asking her to join. Now, Lisa asks him about what happens with him and Sheng in the past. She believes that there must be some reason he didn't even prepare the dish properly. He advises her not to be stressed for him and focus on her future. She says she knows he's hiding his pain because of the restaurant closing and losing the knife. Lisa tells Master Kong that she feels very sad for him and promises to do anything to beat Sheng and get his knife back. But Master Kong looks a bit shocked at her words. On the other side, Sheng is lying in his bed, lost in a dream from his childhood. In the dream, he remembers a moment when he brought candy for Lisa, his friend, because she was apparently mad at him. But she refused because she did not want to be friends with Sheng anymore, since he used to snatch things from others. This memory deeply touched Sheng's heart, and he felt very sad, eventually crying. After a while, he suddenly wakes up looking stressed and tries to calm down and then opens a closet door to look at some pictures of Master Kong and his associates, including one of Lisa. As he looks at her photo with longing, he starts thinking about something important. In the next scene, Sheng arrives at his 5-star restaurant. His assistant immediately briefs him on the VVIP guests, the reserved tables, and the preferences of the upcoming customers. However, there are some mistakes in the menu, which make Sheng quite angry. He angrily asks his assistant if she wants to risk being fired, urging her to be more diligent in her work. Sheng then expresses his need for new, highly capable employees, and instructs his assistant to post job advertisements everywhere. Upon hearing this, the assistant agrees, and Sheng proceeds to the kitchen, where he begins cooking with great focus and seriousness. Sheng specializes in preparing dishes with full focus and heart, ensuring that the flavors remain intact. He begins by crafting a beautiful edible flower, and then cooks the meat to perfection. Following that, he prepares a dessert and a cherry-like dish, both immaculately presented. This attention to detail is evident in all of Sheng's dishes. Once he completes the preparations, Sheng places them on the table. On the other hand, Lisa, along with her friend Danny, has opened a new restaurant at the location formerly owned by Master Kong. In this scenario, both Lisa and Danny are attempting to relaunch the same restaurant under a slightly modified name. They advertise that anyone visiting their new establishment for the first time will receive a complimentary meal. However, despite their efforts, no customers arrive, as people believe it is still Master Kong's restaurant. But since he has lost his knife now, it's not a 5-star restaurant anymore. As a result, everyone departs from there. Lisa and Danny feel disheartened by the lack of customers. At that moment, Sheng arrives at the restaurant. He first removes a leaf from Lisa's head and then inquires if the first meal is complimentary. He expresses his interest in visiting their restaurant if that is the case. After hearing this, both of them look at each other. Because there is no other option, they have to agree, as Sheng is their first customer. When Lisa starts cooking, Sheng also comes to the kitchen and sits down, mentioning that it is written on the board outside, "Welcome to the kitchen." Hearing this, Lisa looks at Danny angrily, thinking that he must have written that on the board. She then glances at Sheng and starts cooking angrily, but he is not bothered at all. He is passing his time comfortably. In the next scene, it is shown that Lisa makes noodles and serves them to Sheng. When she is about to leave, Sheng asks where she is going and suggesting that she should wait there since she should be aware of the comments from their first customer. Hearing that, Lisa stands near Sheng as he tastes the dish, sampling a bit of everything. He mentions that the dish lacks the qualities of a good one, advising Lisa to forget her dream of opening a restaurant in this area, stating that she isn't prepared yet. Sheng adds that her restaurant can't compete with his 5-star establishment in the area, and it wouldn't attract customers. Lisa grows upset, but Danny steps in to support her and replies to Sheng that they will manage everything together. Sheng falls silent upon hearing Danny's words, especially when Danny places a hand on Lisa's shoulder. After Sheng sees the hand there, he feels really jealous and leaves the place angrily, saying the restaurant might close soon. Outside, he angrily walks away. In the next part, Lisa is cleaning and looks annoyed because she didn't expect their old customers to stop coming back after Master Kong lost in the competition. Danny calms her down, saying they'll figure something out and asking her to trust in their skills. This makes Lisa feel less stressed, and slowly customers start returning to their restaurant. They both feel hopeful. They work hard together to serve all the customers, feeling excited because things are getting better. As it is getting late, Lisa goes to the kitchen and sees the pile of dirty plates which have a lot of leftover food. She looks a bit surprised and wonders why so much food has been wasted today. Shortly after, Danny hurries in and tells her that food inspectors have come. This news shocks Lisa as well. The two inspectors say that the restaurant's license has been to Danny away because it has received extremely bad ratings. They order them to close it right away. Lisa, in disbelief, tells them they just opened the restaurant today and that the customers liked the dishes. To prove their point, the men show Lisa the public comments that have been left on the restaurant's page that day. There are comments about how all the dishes in the restaurant are terrible, lacking any flavor, making them feel like they wasted their money. After hearing this, Lisa gets shocked, and both the men advise her to close the restaurant. After delivering this notice, they leave. Lisa stands there sadly, wondering if this is the end of her story. In the next scene, Lisa is walking to her apartment in the evening. Suddenly, she slips on the stairs and falls, blaming Sheng for her misfortune. She expresses that ever since Sheng entered her life, nothing good has happened. Suddenly, Sheng appears behind Lisa and calmly retorts that she fell on her own. He asks her why is she blaming him. Lisa, shocked to see Sheng there, asks what he is doing there, and if he is planning to take someone's knife again. Sheng questions if she thinks he would challenge someone in such a place and explains that he recently bought an apartment in the area, which is why he is there. This explanation leaves Lisa silent, and she inquires about the building number, which Sheng answers is 13. This revelation angers Lisa even more, as she realizes they are neighbors, which she believes will bring even more bad luck. As Lisa is leaving, she almost stumbles, but Sheng quickly catches her by her hood, saving her from falling. Sheng refers to her as a stupid girl and then walks away. However, Lisa notices that Sheng has fish with him, and she understands that he is planning to make fish noodles. This prompts her to ask Sheng if she can join him to see his apartment and to grab something to eat since she is hungry. He reminds her that she thinks he's bad luck for her, but she says that it's not true, because now all the bad luck has ended. Then he agrees and takes her to his apartment. In the next scene, Lisa is sitting in Sheng's house while he's cooking. She gets up and starts looking around the house, where she looks at a photograph and then notices Sheng's mobile ringing. She tries to inform him about the call, but when he doesn't listen, she goes to the room where the sound is coming from. She can't find the mobile, but instead notices the closet which has Lisa's photo inside. Before she could open it, Sheng arrives and asks her to come along. Lisa mentions that she just went to pick up his mobile. She then comes out of the room and sits down to eat. Sheng brings the fish noodles for her and then sits in front of her. When Lisa eats noodles, she likes them so much that she can't stop eating. Sheng watches her gobble everything up, not taking his eyes off her. When Lisa finishes the noodles, Sheng hands her a tissue, hoping she will praise the noodles. Instead, Lisa starts crying, revealing that her restaurant has closed due to negative public feedback. Sheng nods as Lisa speaks. She mentions how she used to feel like a perfect chef, but after tasting his noodles, she realized her place. Sheng reassures Lisa that there's no need for comparisons, and she expresses her desire to reclaim her master's knife from him, even if it means working tirelessly for it. Feeling a bit disheartened by Lisa's competitive spirit, Sheng agrees to wait for her challenge. Lisa then thanks Sheng for the noodles before leaving. Outside, she bursts into tears and calls her master to ask him how Sheng can cook so exceptionally well. Master Kong, hearing her distress over the call, becomes concerned for Lisa. In the next scene, Sheng's self-proclaimed elder brother arrives at his apartment and asks if Sheng misses him at all. As he is about to drink water from the same glass that Lisa has used, Sheng stops him, advising not to drink from it. Upon hearing this, his brother pauses and begins to notice lipstick marks on the glass, indicating that a girl has been there before his arrival. He tries to tease Sheng about it, who simply takes the glass with him. The next day, Lisa wakes up to discover that her father has spent a significant amount of money from her bank account. This revelation leaves her worried, but she chooses not to confront her father about it. However, we don't know anything about Lisa's father at all. After that, as Lisa comes out of her house, she notices a job application poster for a position at a 5-star hotel and studies it carefully. After that, Lisa finds out that Danny is working as a vampire at a haunted house. When Lisa asks him why he is working there, Danny explains that he is unsure about his true interests at the moment. He wants to explore different jobs to figure out his passion. Danny advises her that if she wants to compete in the knife competition and defeat Sheng, she should start preparing now. He suggests getting a job at a prestigious 5-star hotel to learn more skills and gain experience. After considering Danny's advice, Lisa agrees. The next day, she goes for an interview at the same hotel where she saw the poster, and surprisingly, the owner of this 5-star restaurant is Sheng. Sheng observes everyone in his hotel through the cameras, feeling surprised when he sees Lisa there. He then asks his assistant about what positions Lisa has applied for. The assistant informs him that Lisa has applied for everything except for the warehouse keeper position. During the waiting time, Lisa strikes up a friendship with a man named Song. Song, curious about Lisa's interest in cooking, asks her about it. Lisa mentions that she runs a cooking business, prompting Song to express amazement at the idea of her having many employees. Lisa clarifies that her business refers to her own street stall, leading Song to burst into laughter upon hearing this. After that, the first test commences, where Lisa has to stop a fight between customers. However, she is unable to stop it, resulting in failure. In the second test, which involving carrying water without spilling, Lisa also does not succeed again. When it comes to the washing area test, she performs poorly as well. Since she cannot pass any of these tests, she fails them all. Sheng is left wondering whether Lisa came for a job or just to fail the tests. Later, Lisa sits comfortably, and Song asks if she is not nervous about the cooking test. Lisa replies she isn't nervous at all because she's excellent at cooking. She says she is sure she will be selected here and even become the sous chef. When the competition starts between Song and Lisa, they both prepare their dishes diligently. After working hard, both present their dishes. Before Sheng's assistant can check them, Sheng himself comes over and decides to inspect this round. Upon seeing Lisa's dish, he admires the beautiful rose made from tomatoes. Lisa explains its creation, and Sheng then instructs them both to wait outside for the results. After they both leave, Sheng looks at her dish lovingly, but ultimately chooses Song's dish over Lisa's, as he finds it superior. In the next scene, Lisa is with Danny, who is surprised to learn about her visit to Sheng's 5-star hotel for an interview, considering his past actions against their master. Lisa acknowledges the situation and reveals the real reason behind her decision to take a job at Sheng's restaurant. She claims that she wants to learn his skills to defeat him in the knife competition later on. On the other hand, we are introduced to a girl named Jing Jing, a chef who is searching for another chef to work in the 5-star hotel she runs. She wants to hire Lisa because she believes Master Kong can't retain someone like Lisa unless there's something special about her. She plans to offer Lisa a job at her place, but only if the girl is unemployed at that time. Now let's return to Danny and Lisa's conversation. Lisa continues the story, mentioning that when Sheng came to announce the final results, he did not make her chef. Instead, he gave her the job of warehouse keeper. This news made her angry, and she went to Sheng, asking why he had not passed her, and why he is offering her a job she hasn't even applied for. Sheng then dismissed his assistant and advised Lisa to quietly accept the offered job, warning that she might not even get this job otherwise. After hearing this, Lisa fell silent. She took some time to think, then agreed to be the warehouse keeper. After she said yes, Song came over and started joking about how Lisa, being in the cooking business, might have some tips to share with him. Lisa laughed and said it is just a street stall. This fun conversation made Sheng, who was watching this from afar, feel a little jealous. Lisa then went to the warehouse and started checking the stored goods. After looking at the list of items, she realized that the job is more complicated than she had thought at first. After that, she went to the kitchen and saw everyone cooking. She wished that she could also cook with them. When she heard Sheng ask for fish, she quickly ran and got it from the warehouse. She even offered to prepare it for him. However, Sheng got irritated and questioned why she is there, reminding his assistant that warehouse staff aren't allowed in the kitchen without permission. Everyone else also started looking at Lisa, and that left her feeling insulted and upset. As she went back to the warehouse, she was angry and threw a tantrum, vowing to confront Sheng eventually. In the next scene, during lunchtime, all the employees are ready to eat together. They are given full respect and seated nicely for their meal. As they begin eating, Song notices that Lisa hasn't arrived yet and plans to call her. However, Sheng intervenes, stopping Song, and personally goes to call Lisa, who is busy with some tasks in the warehouse. She's about to stumble from the ladder, but Sheng reaches there in time, preventing her from falling. This moment turns slightly romantic, but Lisa quickly changes the topic, asking Sheng why he is here. Sheng explains that everyone is inviting her to join them for lunch. He then apologizes for raising his voice at her earlier and decides to allow Lisa to assist in the kitchen as a way of apology. This unexpected gesture leaves Lisa surprised. It happens so frequently that she is about to spit the water in her mouth, but Sheng stops her, saying that if she does that in the warehouse, he will fire her from the job. After Sheng leaves, Lisa becomes very happy. So much so that she screams loudly and starts dancing, saying that this means she can also cook from now on. Sheng looks back at her and smiles, remarking that she is really crazy. As he exits with a smile, he encounters his elder brother, Yang, who first asks Sheng about the secret of his happiness and why he is smiling so much, but then inquires about his next competition. Yang mentions that the upcoming events involve Jing, the same girl who had earlier talked about hiring Lisa. Both of them expressed their determination to win the competition at all cost. Now, moving on to the next scene, Danny asks Lisa why she seems so happy, considering that Sheng would now make her handle 2 roles, as a warehouse keeper and a chef, but would pay her for only one. In response, Lisa mentions that the salary isn't the main concern for her. What matters is the opportunity to work closely with Sheng, which will enable her to learn extensively and prepare to surpass him in the competition. She expresses her happiness about this prospect. The next day, Lisa starts working in the kitchen as an assistant, helping Sheng by bringing him various things. During lunchtime, Lisa prepares food for everyone, making them all happy. They praise her cooking, and she is pleased with their reaction. However, when Sheng tastes the dish, he doesn't like it at all. He leaves the area, puzzling Lisa. She follows him and asks what went wrong, seeking feedback on her cooking. Sheng returns to the group and asks Lisa to smell the dish, asking what she can smell. Lisa says she can smell beef and other ingredients used in the dish, but then she also notices a bad odor of shell. Sheng confirms it, saying she didn't clean properly before cutting the meat, which ruined the dish. He then comments that Lisa reminds him of her master, someone who always needs things explained. Lisa doesn't like this and asks why Sheng is bringing up her master. Sheng says that if Lisa wants to work with him, she has to forget her master's ways. Sheng's assistant stands beside him and supports him, which upsets Lisa even more. Sheng then says she has only 2 options: follow his rules or quit. Lisa remains silent, and then Sheng leaves. Lisa looks extremely hurt by all these things, and everyone else also gets up and leaves without eating Lisa's dish completely, except Song, who starts praising Lisa, but that may be mere lip service for all she knows. In the next scene, we see Sheng is alone on a call, asking his assistant about Lisa and what she is doing. But Lisa arrives after finishing her shift to hand over the uniform back to Sheng. She expresses her decision not to work with Sheng anymore due to his constant threats of firing her. As she is about to leave, Sheng reminisces about the day Lisa took money for noodles but didn't deliver them, so he asks for the treat now. Lisa agrees, saying she will give him a treat, but then they will go their separate ways. Later, Sheng shocks Lisa by taking her to an expensive restaurant owned by Jing. Jing is also surprised to learn that Sheng has brought Master Kong's student along. However, after Sheng orders very expensive food, Lisa asks if she can treat him next time. She says she doesn't have much money now. Sheng agrees but says she can't quit her job now. Curious, Lisa asks why she can't leave, especially since Sheng had chosen her for the warehouse keeper job, which she hadn't even applied for. Sheng explains that Lisa was actually chosen because of her skills. In the past competition, while others struggled to identify spices, Lisa did well, identifying each scent accurately. This unique ability makes her a good fit for the job, which is why Sheng gave her the warehouse keeper role. Lisa is surprised to hear that. After they both finish eating, they both come outside the restaurant where Sheng notices something on Lisa's lips. Sheng is about to help her, but then he stops and instead asks Lisa to clean it herself. After cleaning her face, she says goodbye to Sheng and leaves. Later, Lisa stands in front of the restaurant and tries to take a selfie. But then Jing comes there and offers to help, taking photos of Lisa. After some time, they are sitting together on a table when she makes an offer to her. She wants Lisa to join her team, where her task would be to gather information about Sheng and pass it on to her. In return, if she wins the competition with Sheng, Jing promises Lisa a good job at her hotel. Alongside the offer, she also gives Lisa a VIP card for her hotel, allowing her to enjoy complimentary meals anytime. Lisa listens quietly without saying much. However, later on, Lisa politely declines the offer to work with Jing. This surprises Jing, as she had thought Lisa would easily accept her offer because she offered her double the salary. After that, we see Lisa is struggling to make her way home in the pouring rain. Her mind wandered back to a recent conversation she had with Sheng, where he had asked her to remember the scent and taste of the dishes they were eating at Jing's restaurant. What puzzled her even more was his mention that if Jing were to approach her, she should disclose everything discussed during their meeting to him. This implied that Sheng was already aware of Jing's intention to offer Lisa a job, leaving her perplexed about how he had known about her plans beforehand. As Lisa steps out of her building, Sheng stops her while holding an umbrella, which surprises her. She expresses her confusion about his presence, asking if he has been waiting for her. Sheng nods, mentioning that the heavy rain had prompted him to wait. He then hands her a bowl of soup, explaining that it would keep her warm. Lisa's joy is evident as Sheng appears to be showing signs of caring for her. She confides in him, sharing that Jing had indeed visited her and attempted to persuade her with more money to join her team. Sheng inquires about her decision, and Lisa replies that she has declined the offer, stating her reluctance to deceive anyone. Sheng looks pleased upon hearing that. Lisa then stands outside her apartment, staring at a bowl of soup left at her doorstep. Her confusion grows as she recognizes it as her favorite soup from childhood. She can't help but wonder how Sheng knows her preferences so well. Despite her confusion, she enters her apartment, considering that perhaps it's just a coincidence. In the next morning, Lisa quickly helps her father, who isn't well mentally, get ready to go somewhere. He acts like a child, but Lisa gently guides him. While she is taking him, Lisa accidentally drops his box, but then she picks it up and gives it back to him. Meanwhile, Sheng watches them from afar, remembering how Lisa has cared for her father in a similar way ever since she was young, and he used to watch her just like now. The next day, Lisa comes to the restaurant and finds out that it will be closed for 3 days because of the upcoming contest between Jing and Sheng. As she's getting ready to leave, she notices someone and they lock eyes for a moment. They inquire about each other and then engage each other in a conversation. The man introduces himself as Fang, a senior chef in the restaurant who is even older than Sheng in age. Lisa also introduces herself to Fang. In the meantime, Sheng's assistant arrives and mentions that she is going to deliver the knife kit to Sheng at his house, where he is preparing for the competition. Lisa sees this as an opportunity to learn from Sheng and decides to take the kit, mentioning that she will give it to him since they are both neighbors. Upon arriving at Sheng's apartment, Lisa discovers that he isn't present. She decides to call Sheng, who informs her that he is heading somewhere else, but gives her the password to his home, allowing her to enter in his absence. Sheng remembers there are photos of his enemy and friends inside the locker, which Lisa might see, making him rush back home and call out as soon as he arrives. Lisa looks at Sheng with anger, making him wonder if she has discovered everything. However, Lisa's anger stems from negative fake comments Sheng made about her restaurant, leading to the closure of her restaurant. Sheng feels a bit relieved to hear this and admits to his actions. He confesses that he wanted Lisa to work exclusively in his restaurant, which is why he put up posters outside the building to attract Lisa for an interview. Hearing that she starts getting angrier and seeing that, Sheng mentions that he has a good offer for her. He explains that he needs seafood before nightfall, but he has faced difficulties getting it from the local shops in this area, as they are owned by his competitor Jing. Because of this, he asks Lisa to use her sharp nose to find the freshest seafood possible and bring it to him today. In return for this favor, he promises to appoint her as the official chef of his restaurant. This means that she will no longer just assist in the kitchen, but will also prepare dishes for customers. Additionally, Lisa demands to be his assistant in the upcoming competition. After hearing this proposal, Sheng agrees to the deal, but he insists on seeing the seafood today before finalizing anything. Lisa agrees on this. Then she takes Danny's help to get to the seafood market. When they arrive at the market, Lisa uses her acute sense smell to collect all the fresh seafood. It gets late doing that, and soon heavy rain starts. Meanwhile, Sheng, who is cooking at his house and listening to the news, is shocked to hear about the worsening weather outside. He accidentally cuts his finger while processing the seafood, feeling guilty for sending Lisa out in such bad weather. Shortly after, Sheng receives a call from Song, who asks if he can bring seafood for the competition and practice the next day. Sheng refuses, and Song disconnects the call, feeling disappointed because he had already brought seafood for Sheng. Lisa eventually returns with the seafood as well. Sheng is surprised when she comes in all wet, so he welcomes her indoors. After checking the seafood, he finds it excellent and fresh. Lisa is concerned for Sheng when she sees his hurt finger and wraps it up with a bandage, which makes Sheng very happy. Then they start cooking together. Lisa smells the ingredients and tries using them to make the perfect replication of the seafood dish they enjoyed at Jing's restaurant. After making the dish, Sheng asks Lisa to taste it, but she says it doesn't taste like the original. Sheng throws it away and starts cooking again. During their time together, they have nice moments, showing they are getting closer. When Lisa struggles to lift something, Sheng helps her, feeling affectionate towards her. Sheng tries cooking the dish again, but isn't happy with how it tastes compared to Jing's seafood meal. He throws it away and starts over. After 3 tries, the dish finally tastes right, like Jing's dish. Sheng feels better for a moment, but then says it needs to be more than just similar. It needs to stand out. They both start thinking of ways to make the flavor better. Lisa says they could try adding fruits, which gets Sheng interested. He makes the dish with Lisa's idea and asks her to taste it. Sheng is overjoyed when Lisa praises his dish that finally impressed her. He has practiced all day and feels relieved when she likes his creation. However, Sheng is so tired that he feels dizzy and falls down. Lisa is shocked by this sudden event and starts questioning herself if he is alive or not. After confirming he is alive, Lisa takes a breath of relief herself. Meanwhile, Lisa's father, concerned about her absence, wonders why she hasn't returned home yet. When Danny mentions staying at a friend's house for the night, the conversation briefly quiets before escalating into a dispute over fruits. The next day, upon Dannying, Sheng is surprised to find Lisa beside him. She learns that Lisa has cared for her throughout the night, causing her to miss going home. Grateful for that, Sheng expresses her thanks to Lisa before resuming her cooking practice. Lisa remarks that she now understands why he is such a skilled chef. His dedication to practicing until perfection is evident. Soon, it is the day of the competition, and the competition venue is buzzing with participants arriving one after another. Jing approaches Lisa, telling her that the offer to join her side is still open. She seems sure of her victory, thinking that Lisa will lose and then join her team. But Sheng steps in, politely saying no and mentioning that Lisa is happy being with him. Jing wishes them both good luck gracefully and leaves. After a while, the competition begins. Both the contestants show off their cooking skills, each trying to make the best dish. Jing, who is known for her skills with seafood, is confident she will win right from the start. Meanwhile, Sheng focuses on making a dish with a unique smell and taste with Lisa's help, surprising everyone with his creative approach. After cooking for a long time, both dishes are finally ready. When it is time for tasting, all 3 judges like Jing's dish. She feels happy, thinking her victory is confirmed. However, when the judges taste Sheng's dish, they are impressed. They ask about the green sauce, and Sheng explains that it is made with sea grapes, inspired by Lisa's idea. Now it is time for voting. Jing receives 1 vote, Sheng gets the second, and everyone waits to see who will get the decisive 3rd vote. When the final vote goes to Sheng, declaring him the winner, Lisa cheers loudly and hugs Sheng tightly, who smiles in response. It is a joyful moment for both of them. While Sheng and Lisa celebrate, Jing feels upset. Following the competition's rule, she gives her knife to Sheng. In the next scene, a mysterious girl is shown feeling upset over Sheng's victory. Her identity remains undisclosed, but it's clear that she closely monitors Sheng's competitions and reacts negatively whenever he wins. After that, Lisa and Sheng go outside, and she notices that Jing appears sad. She expresses her discomfort at seeing Jing in such a state, and Sheng reassures her that it is no big deal. He explains that in competitions like this, challenging others or being challenged is common practice. It is necessary to adhere to the company's guidelines to maintain their positions among the top chefs. Lisa falls silent after hearing this, and they have a casual conversation before parting ways. The next day, Sheng and Lisa are working together for a party organized by Sheng's hotel. Song notices them together and openly speculates about their relationship, to which Fang indirectly suggests there might be something going on between them, and this displeases Song. Soon after, Sheng's grandpa, the main guest of the party, arrives, but Sheng is not happy to see him. When Sheng moves to leave, Lisa asks why he's leaving and if he doesn't want to hear the speech. Sheng forcefully takes Lisa away, explaining that she doesn't need to listen to his speeches either. However, before giving a speech, Grandpa introduces a famous chef to everyone and then announces that she is his granddaughter Sheba, who has just returned from abroad. He declares that she will be the head chef of his new hotel. Upon hearing this, everyone starts clapping. We then see Sheba, who is the same mysterious girl who watched Sheng's competition online and got upset. Meanwhile, Sheng is leaving when his elder brother Yang, who is actually his cousin, stops him and asks where he is going. When Yang mentions that Sheba has returned from abroad, Sheng is shocked. As he turns around, Sheba is looking at him and waves at him with excitement, leaving Lisa confused about who this girl is. She then receives a call informing her that her father is missing, which upsets her greatly. She leaves immediately, telling Sheng about her situation, and he starts following after her. However, Yang stops Sheng and suggests that he should at least congratulate Sheba since she is now the head chef. Despite this, Sheng goes after Lisa. In the next scene, we see Lisa searching for her father everywhere but unable to find him, which increases her worry. Just then, Sheng calls out to her and asks her to sit in his car, and she complies. Both of them go together to Lisa's former home, but she can't figure out where to find her father. Seeing Lisa's distress, Sheng stops the car and offers her some food items. After feeding her with his hands to calm her down, Sheng suggests Lisa to relax first before thinking about where her father might be. Lisa contemplates and mentions that since it is Friday, her father likely has a father-child activity planned at the healthcare center. In the next scene, they hurry to the center. When Lisa inquires about her father from the security guard, the guard confirms her father's visit earlier that day. This reassures Lisa, and after registering, they both enter and begin searching separately. Eventually, Lisa finds her father, who has climbed up on a tree, trying to retrieve a balloon and refusing to come down. Sheng arrives and assures Lisa that he will bring them down. Climbing the tree, Sheng reaches the father, who initially resists but eventually allows Sheng to help him down. Sheng injures his shoulder in the process but prevents the father from getting hurt. Lisa asks her father if he is okay, but he doesn't recognize her due to amnesia. He mentions buying the balloon for his young daughter before realizing the situation. Lisa hugs her father and, overcome with emotion, starts crying as she conveys that she is his daughter. Meanwhile, Sheng experiences happiness upon finally finding Lisa's father and observing their joy together. Later, a surprised Danny questions Lisa if Sheng has indeed helped her, because she never tires talking about his rudeness. Lisa confirms, acknowledging his rudeness but suggesting that there might be changes now. In response to this revelation, Danny generously offers 3 tickets to Lisa, stating that he is now working in the zoo and inviting her to bring her dad there, and also Sheng as a thank you gesture. Lisa accepts the offer and proceeds directly to Sheng's house. He opens the door, fresh out of shower. There, Lisa expresses gratitude to Sheng for his help earlier, and then offers to dry his hair. Before he can even give an answer, she barges inside and begins the task. After discussing various topics at length, she expresses her desire to take Sheng to the zoo and requests a day off for the following day. Sheng asks if this is the reason she is acting like this. Despite her efforts, Sheng declines the invitation. Lisa feels disappointed initially, but Sheng then suggests that she take the day off the next day to enjoy herself, as he won't be able to join her. This unexpected leave makes Lisa happy. The following day, as Lisa is getting ready to go to the zoo with her father, Sheng shows up unexpectedly, surprising her. Her father greets Sheng warmly, calling him by his name and expressing familiarity. This surprises Sheng, who asks the man if he remembers him. He responds affirmatively, acknowledging that Sheng has grown quite a lot. Sheng is pleased to hear that at least someone recognizes him, while Lisa is to Danny aback. She quiets her father by explaining that this person is her boss, not her childhood friend Sheng. She then apologizes to Sheng, mentioning that her father sees him as her childhood friend. Meanwhile, upon hearing the announcement at the hotel that both Sheng and Lisa are on leave today, Song feels uneasy. On the other side, Lisa and her group visit the zoo, where all 3 of them are delighted. They watch the animals, take numerous photos, and enjoy themselves. While feeding the giraffe, Lisa becomes a bit scared, and Sheng encourages her to go forward, sharing a laugh after that. He then clicks some photos showing how much fun they are having. Later, Lisa starts dancing after seeing some bubbles, and Sheng brings many balloons for her. They all enjoy a lot together. Later, Lisa's father gets stubborn after seeing a swan and decides that he wants to feed it bread. So, Lisa quickly starts finding food from her bag. However, because she's very close to Sheng, he starts feeling nervous, and his heart starts beating fast. Sheng thinks Lisa looks cute, so he secretly takes her photo. While he is happily looking at the photo, Lisa's father notices the photo and asks why he took a photo of his daughter. Sheng becomes a bit scared and worried, but before Lisa's father can say anything, he forgets because of his amnesia. Soon, Danny arrives there and calls out to Lisa, who is overjoyed to see him. They begin talking and laughing together, but Sheng can't hide his jealousy, making faces whenever he sees Lisa with Danny. This pattern repeats as they converse, with Sheng's attention solely focused on them. When Lisa's father mentions needing to use the restroom, Sheng offers to assist him. However, he loses control right there and wets the bench. Everyone shifts their attention to this and make insensitive comments about his age and actions. Lisa rushes over and Sheng acts swiftly, covering her father with his jacket. The crowd captures this moment in photos, and Sheng shouts and chases away the insensitive people. He then asks Danny to accompany the old man to the washroom, with Lisa joining them. Meanwhile, Sheng pours water on the bench and cleans it with a cloth, planning to tell Lisa about it later. She turns around and is shocked to see his actions, because she only thought of him as a villain. The next morning, Sheng has a very high fever. He tells his friend Fang about the previous day, how he enjoyed the time with Lisa and her father. However, he can't understand why Lisa doesn't recognize him while her father does. Upon hearing this, Fang remarks that Sheng has been talking a lot about Lisa lately and suggests that he might have started liking her. Sheng quickly denies this, saying it isn't true. After Fang leaves, Sheng begins to think about it, and realizes that perhaps it is indeed the case. In the next scene, Yang's father has arrived from abroad, and he looks angry upon hearing that grandfather appointed Sheba as the head chef of his hotel instead of him, considering he is the eldest son of the house. But Sheba is also there to greet him, and after she hears this, starting to tease Yang's father. Their relationship isn't good because Sheba is not his biological daughter, and Yang is his real son. On the other hand, Sheng feels uneasy thinking about Lisa repeatedly, indicating his growing fondness for her. He keeps recalling Lisa's words in his mind. He then decides to go to the hospital because of his fever, but when he finds Lisa outside his door, he brings her with him for help. He repeatedly teases her by sending her on errands because he is enjoying Lisa's company. After that, suddenly Lisa brings an egg and hits it on Sheng's head. He gets angry and asks what she's doing. She explains that her father says that doing this reduces the fever. Hearing this, Sheng starts remembering a scene from his childhood when Lisa had bro Danny an egg on his head like this when he had a fever. In the present, he starts saying that this is all nonsense and that nothing like this happens. In the next scene, Grandpa expresses dissatisfaction with Sheba's carefree attitude as the head chef at the hotel. Yang mentions that she has just returned from abroad and might be taking things slowly due to exhaustion, suggesting that Sheba needs time to adjust. However, Grandpa grows angrier, instructing Yang not to take Sheba's side but to guide her as the elder brother on what is right and wrong. This scolding makes Yang realize that Grandpa doesn't truly love him because it isn't even his mistake. Meanwhile, Lisa constantly keeps praising her friend Danny in every conversation, which makes Sheng jealous. This jealousy leads to an argument between Sheng and Lisa, resulting in Sheng asking her to leave and go home. Lisa goes to her home, but on Sheng's way home, he encounters difficulties due to the rain. Lisa returns, bringing an umbrella and covering Sheng with it, explaining that she hadn't left but had gone to get the umbrella. Sheng, touched by this gesture, sincerely apologizes to Lisa. In the next scene, they leave while talking. As soon as Sheng comes out of his apartment, he finds Yang there, who wants to ask if Sheba is in his house. Sheng says no, and after hearing this, Yang gets worried about where Sheba has disappeared. Whereas Sheba, who is in the market buying fruits, is told by Lisa that they're not fresh. The fruit seller accuses her of lying, and Lisa gently tells Sheba that the fruit seller at the corner is offering fresher mangoes, suggesting they should buy from there. Sheba then asks Lisa about her name, complimenting her intelligence. Lisa introduces herself and then leaves. The next day, Lisa is helping the chefs, and then two waitresses come there and mention that someone only wants to eat the food prepared by her. Lisa is surprised to hear this, so she starts checking who this person is. It turns out to be Sheba, whom the hotel manager had informed that Lisa couldn't prepare a dish for her because Master Sheng had forbidden her from making a full dish. Upon hearing this, Sheba approaches Fang and starts talking to him. Fang knows Sheba since he is a friend of Sheng. He first speaks to her nicely and then explains that Sheng and he have worked hard to make the place successful, so he requests Sheba not to create any disturbance. Sheba mentions that she isn't planning to do anything and is just there for fun. Later, she talks to Lisa alone, telling her that she came here especially to eat the dishes made by Lisa, but no one is letting her do so. Sheba asks her to make a dish for her secretly from everyone. Lisa agrees to Sheba's request and prepares many delicious items for her, including a nut and chocolate cake. When Lisa asks how Sheba likes the taste, Sheba agrees to give a good review to the hotel. However, after eating, Sheba suddenly faints. Lisa gets scared, and meanwhile, Sheng appears on the site. Realizing that Sheba had eaten nuts, he immediately picks her up and takes her to the hospital, leaving Lisa shocked. In the hospital, Sheng takes care of Sheba, and when he tries to leave, Sheba doesn't let him go. Sheng questions why Sheba ate the nut cake despite her severe allergy, suggesting she did it on purpose. Sheba confirms this, saying it was the only way to catch Sheng's attention since he hadn't been giving her time since her return from abroad. She pleads with Sheng to listen to her for a moment. During their conversation, it becomes clear that Sheba is the same girl whom Sheng had to Danny to Master Kong in his childhood, and now she plans to work in Sheng's restaurant instead of his grandpa's. Sheng doesn't say anything about this, but quietly ends the conversation. In the next scene, Lisa receives a scolding from Sheng for secretly cooking for Sheba. However, he later explains to her calmly that Sheba had deliberately ordered a nut cake despite her allergy. She is surprised to learn this. Later on her way home, Lisa thinks about Sheba's behavior, wondering why she acted that way. As she stops to pick up a bottle, Sheba comes over and greets her. Lisa directly asks Sheba why she is targeting her. Sheba replies that it is because her brother ignored her that day, following Lisa instead. Sheba explains how much it hurt her because she can't share her brother with any other girl. She then advises Lisa to stay away from her brother Sheng. She also mentions that she has heard Lisa's smell power is excellent and suggests a competition. Lisa also agrees, and with Song and Fang as judges, they blindfold themselves. The competition is to order items made of eggs by identifying them just with their smells. When the results are announced, Lisa discovers she has lost, which shocks her as no one has previously surpassed her in smell power. After that, Sheba leaves, making fun of Lisa. Fang mentions that Sheba had undergone a tough training since childhood, making her unbeatable in cooking-related matters. Meanwhile, Fang also tells about this competition to Sheng. Later, as Lisa returns home in disbelief over her loss, Danny suggests that she should have researched Sheba before competing. The conversation then shifts to Sheng's family history. Sheng's grandfather had 2 sons. One of them was the father of Sheng and Sheba, and the other is the dad of Yang. However, when Sheng's father lost a knife competition to someone, Grandpa threw them out of the home along with his family. Lisa wonders if losing the competition is the sole reason for it, and Danny affirms, saying that for Sheng's grandpa, maintaining his reputation matters most. However, a few years later, tragedy struck when Sheng's parents pass away in an accident, leaving Sheng and Sheba orphaned and compelled to reside in a childcare center. Upon learning this, Grandpa ignored Sheng since he lacked culinary skills, unlike Sheba, who had a natural talent for cooking. The situation results in Sheba becoming Yang's adopted sister, which causes Sheng to be left behind at the childcare center. Upon understanding this, Lisa understands why Sheng values knife competitions so much. Later, while inspecting Lisa's father's belongings, Danny comes across an old knife, which he carefully examines before taking it and leaves in a rush. Meanwhile, Lisa feels sympathy for Sheng, acknowledging the difficulties he has faced. The next day, Lisa arrives at the restaurant early in the morning and begins working on improving her sense of smell. Sheng joins her later and offers some tips to help her. He mentions that Lisa seems sad after learning that she shouldn't have competed with Sheba. Sheng then encourages her by saying that if she becomes more serious and focuses entirely on cooking, she too can become a skilled chef. From the next day, Lisa starts focusing entirely on cooking. Meanwhile, Sheba, who sits in the restaurant, is causing harm to Sheng's business. She writes negative reviews under Lisa's name to damage her reputation and get her ousted from the restaurant. Despite Yang's attempts to intervene, Sheba remains stubborn. Later, during a gathering with everyone, a surprising incident unfolds. A longtime meat seller sends a message announcing his decision to end collaboration with Sheng, which shocks everyone. Sheng then sends his location to Lisa. Lisa goes to the meat shop named Tao and makes her purchase. After buying everything she needs, she mentions that she is from Master Sheng's restaurant. Upon hearing this, the shopkeeper immediately tells her to get out. Confused by the sudden change in her behavior, Lisa can't understand what is happening. When she goes to the market to buy meat, she faces the same difficulties as no one seems willing to sell her any. This leaves Lisa feeling anxious and puzzled about the situation. Eventually, she comes up with an idea, and the scene ends there. Later on, Lisa returns with the meat. Upon inspecting it, Sheng finds the quality to be perfect. He then announces that he will use it to prepare a meal for the children. Sheng plans to bring food to the child care center to meet the children. When Lisa emerges, Song intercepts her and requests the truth about the meat's source. Lisa falsely claims it came from Tao's shop. However, Song points out that Tao's shop always has a code on its meat, which is missing this time, leading Song to conclude it isn't from there. Lisa then admits to buying it elsewhere due to no other selling option. The story delves into the past, revealing that Lisa has purchased the meat from someone she knows. In the present, when Lisa is revealing this to Song, someone is recording them on a mobile phone. Then, the scene transitions to Sheng, becoming very happy at the child care center. Lisa is also happy upon arrival because they both have many childhood memories there. When Lisa sees a photo of herself, she exclaims that this is her, but wonders who is that boy with her, and wonders if he is her best friend. She remembers having a friend with whom she used to have a lot of fun, but it feels like she has seen him somewhere else. Meanwhile, Sheng is outside and he begins reminiscing about their childhood. Sheng remembers being accused of theft one time, a crime he hadn't committed. However, Lisa stood up for him, proving his innocence. Since then, they became best friends and spent their days playing together. Lisa didn't live here during her childhood like Sheng did, but she used to visit from morning till evening while her father was at work. In the present, Sheng cries a lot as he remembers those times. He asks Lisa why she couldn't recognize him, given how much they used to play together in childhood. Later, as everyone starts to leave, Lisa feels a sense of familiarity when she sees Sheng near the car. She feels as if Sheng is her childhood friend, but she dismisses the thought, thinking it couldn't be true. Later, Fang suggests that Lisa sit with Sheng in his car because the van is full. Her mind is full of questions about Sheng's connection to the orphanage. Eventually, she asks Sheng why he is so attached to the orphanage. He explains that he spent his entire childhood there, and he had a sweet friend who always supports him. Hearing this, Lisa becomes more certain that Sheng could indeed be her childhood friend from years ago. Later, a van full of children from an orphanage is brought to the hospital because the food prepared for them was found to be poisoned, causing their conditions to deteriorate. In the morning, as soon as Song arrives at the restaurant, he finds it closed. He starts peeking inside and overhears a conversation that reveals Sheng's restaurant has been closed due to the poison case. It will remain so until it is proven that he isn't involved. On the other hand, Lisa is also surprised to learn about this through her mobile. Suddenly, a group of media people surrounds her, asking if the meat from which the poison is found was bought by her, and if she is responsible for it. Lisa gets upset upon hearing this. Inside the restaurant, the assistant tells Sheng that the meat Lisa bought didn't have Tao's shop code on it. This indicates that maybe she has done everything. Song then starts showing a video to Sheng, which is going viral very quickly. In the video, it shows Noi saying to that yes, it is she who did everything. Song explains that the video is fake because when Lisa was talking to him, she didn't say anything like that. The voice has been dubbed to frame Lisa. Sheng is shocked by this revelation. Suddenly, Fang mentions that the media has surrounded Lisa. Upon hearing this, Sheng immediately runs from there and quickly reaches Lisa, taking her with him in a taxi to get away. Lisa questions why she should hide if she hasn't done anything wrong. Sheng explains that they will discuss everything later and that it is better for her to leave at that moment. She agrees and immediately goes home. Lisa is still upset when she returns, and Danny tries his best to comfort her, reassuring her that everything will be fine. Despite his efforts, Lisa remains unsettled. Danny then shows Lisa the same knife he found from her father's belongings. He has cleaned it and found the words Mr. Lee engraved on it, indicating it belongs to someone from her family. After hearing the news, Lisa is surprised and promptly goes to her father to seek clarification. However, due to his poor memory, he can't provide any details. The following day, after the inspector's visit to question Sheng, Sheba arrives and expresses her concern indirectly by reminding him of her previous warnings about Lisa. Sheng responds indirectly, pointing out that he has also advised Sheba against taking on the role of head chef at Grandpa's hotel, but she didn't listen as well. Sheba falls silent and Sheng leaves. On the other hand, Lisa returns to the orphanage. When she goes to see the children, she sees they are getting better from the poisoning, which is good. However, the problem has made Sheng's restaurant look bad, so the manager of the orphanage talks to Lisa about it. During their talk, the manager mentions that Lisa and Sheng look a lot alike even though they grew up. This makes Lisa think that her boss is actually her childhood best friend, Sheng. They visited the orphanage together last week, which explains why they seemed familiar to the lady. After going back home, Lisa tries to reach Sheng several times, but he doesn't answer. This makes her think that Sheng might think she has something to do with the bad meat incident and is avoiding her because of it. She worries that this misunderstanding could make her lose her job, so she talks to Danny about it. She tells Danny that she is scared Sheng might fire her, so she suggests they start working together and start their restaurant. Danny disagrees, stating that they had opened a restaurant together earlier, but it didn't work well. Lisa doesn't listen to him and insists on opening it again. So in the next scene, she goes with Danny to see a place. However, due to high rent, they can't finalize anything. Seeing Lisa sad, Danny goes to get water for her. While he is away, Lisa notices Fang with a chef whom Sheng defeated in the knife competition in the beginning of the story. Lisa immediately takes their photo, believing Fang might be involved in what is happening. She thinks Fang is standing with Sheng's enemy. On the other side, Sheng comes to meet Jing Jing and asks if she is behind everything. She replies that if she wanted to harm him, she would have joined his enemies already. When Sheng asks who else could be involved, Jing Jing mentions Fang because she doubts him. In the next scene, Fang is shown searching for something in the warehouse. When Sheng arrives, he becomes interested in what Fang is doing. Fang responds that he's come to take spices, but asks as if Sheng is suspecting him of adding poison to the meat. Sheng laughs and remarks that he could never believe such a thing, even if the whole world told him otherwise. In the past, after the death of his parents, when Sheng lived in an orphanage, Fang's father adopted him because he was a friend of Sheng's father. Sheng then asked if Fang's father could teach him cooking, to which Fang's father agreed, mentioning that he himself was a chef. In the next scene, Sheng shows Fang the photo that Lisa sent him, mentioning that everyone is talking about him. Fang laughs, wondering if Lisa is really doubting him. Fang explains that his doubt is on Sheng's assistant, and Sheng is surprised to hear this. The scene then shifts to the assistant meeting Yang in his car. Apparently she is in a relationship with him and they have a larger plan, though nothing is revealed yet. Next day, Danny and Lisa start stalking Fang him. As he leaves in a car, Danny follows him in a taxi. Lisa was also planning to tail him, but she stays back because she receives a shocking call from someone. On the other hand, Sheng has called all his past rivals from whom he has won their knives to a meeting. He believes that the culprit behind the recent events is among them. On the other hand, when Fang enters a restaurant, Danny follows him inside and remarks that it is quite dark outside. Sheba enters the restaurant just night and tells the stupid Danny to take off his sunglasses. Upon hearing this, Danny takes them off and then he can't stop looking at Sheba, and that is the moment he falls in love with her. Meanwhile, Sheng's enemies try denying their involvement in anything, but as presses them, they begin showing nervousness. They still question the evidence against them, and Sheng tells them he has a witness he will call against them. On the other side, Danny has abandoned his search for Fang and is focusing on Sheba. She notices him at the door. Since Fang is also approaching, she ushers Danny inside with her. Sheba is also suspicious of Fang, just like Danny, so she too is here to keep an eye on him. However, Fang already knows the two are following him, so when he asks them to come forward, they are surprised to hear this. Now Fang sits and tells them the whole thing, saying he knew earlier that they were suspicious of him. But even then, he didn't stop them because he wanted their focus to remain on him so Sheng could complete his work comfortably. Then he starts asking where Lisa is. Danny is surprised to hear this because she should be with them. On the other hand, the person Sheng called is none other than the guy from whom Lisa had bought the meat. He shows some proof that the meat he had given him was of the best quality. Sheng declares that all of them together had stopped the supplies from reaching him, which is why no shop was giving meat to his restaurant. After hearing that they all say that they didn't do this, but eventually, a woman admits that they have all been involved in this, with support from someone at Sheng's restaurant. In response, Sheng remarks that he knows they all are upset because he has confiscated their knife. He offers forgiveness this time in respect of their feelings. However, he warns that if a similar incident occurs again, he will have to involve the police. The woman questions what proof he has, and Sheng reveals the hidden camera that has recorded her testimony of stopping supply to his restaurant. Hearing this, all the people become quiet. Sheng comes out after that, and the meat supplier asks why he is helping Lisa so much. He believes that Sheng already knows the name of the real culprit, but even then he conducted this meeting and collected proof, most probably for her sake. The man wonders if in any case Sheng likes Lisa, but Sheng starts smiling. Suddenly, he gets a call from the Fang informing him that Lisa is missing, and he gets stressed. Meanwhile, in a restaurant, Lisa is with Song, who is smiling at her in a strange way. He reveals that he added poison to the meat, and did all of this to get Lisa fired from her job. He was jealous because the position she was in requires a good chef, and he believed he was more experienced, so he should have been chosen as Sheng's assistant in the competition. However, Sheng chose her instead, which made him upset. Upon hearing this, Lisa tries to explain that it isn't as Song thinks and attempts to make him understand. But Song pours petrol in the area, intending to burn Lisa. Before he can do so, Lisa throws some spices in his eye, causing the lighter to fall from his hand. Sheng arrives at this moment and asks Lisa if she's okay. Song threatens that Sheng will also die with Lisa, but before he can act, Lisa evades him and escapes with Sheng, holding his hand. As they flee, Lisa asks Sheng if he's okay, addressing him by his childhood name. Sheng is surprised and asks if she has realized that he's her childhood friend. Before Lisa can respond, they hear the sound of a police car approaching. Both of them start smiling, and Sheba, who is passing by, notices. Meanwhile, Danny stops Sheba, insisting that she must give him her number before leaving. Sheba complies, typing something on Danny's mobile before departing, which makes Danny very happy. After getting the mobile phone back, he checks his mobile and discovers that Sheba has just made the picture, and he got trolled. In the next scene, Sheng's assistant conveys to him that all the charges against their restaurant are dropped. He expresses relief, acknowledging that it's good news, and suggests informing the chef so they can resume work the next day. His grandpa, however, displays displeasure at Sheng's persistence, knowing that the restaurant's reopening partly means that Sheng's involvement in the poisoned meat incident has been disproved of. It turns out that Grandpa and the rest of his family is concerned about maintaining their reputation, especially as they fear Sheng might win and acquire their family knife one day. Sheng's rival, who was the one who Fang was talking to, is also present at the meeting. As Yang takes him outside, Sheba arrives there on her bike and scares the hell out of him. Yang tells her to grow up, but she says later loser, and then grabs the old man and takes him for a ride in her car. Seeing this, Yang starts remembering the scene from the past, when Sheng's family was leaving the house. He felt very bad that time, and asked his dad why they were all leaving. His dad explained that it's because they are all losers. His father also told Yang that now he has really a good chance to make a place in Grandpa's heart and to become the heir to the entire property. Thinking about all these things makes the Yang smile now. On the other hand, Sheba drove her car really fast, wrecking the old man's brain. He almost throws up after she stops the car, and then she warns him not to do anything bad with Sheng's restaurant, or she won't leave him alone. In the next scene, Lisa decides to open her own restaurant. She says that she will be the head chef and Danny will be the second chef there. However, Danny surprises her by saying he wants to work for Sheba instead. He explains that he applied to a restaurant where Sheba works because he started to like her. Lisa is shocked and starts hitting Danny, asking how he could change his mind like that when they had planned to work together. As she expresses her disappointment, Lisa receives a call from Sheng asking her to meet him. She meets Sheng, and they have a conversation. Sheng asks Lisa why she didn't ask him anything when she found out he was her childhood friend. Lisa replies that she isn't curious because there's nothing she feels she needs to ask. In the past, when Sheng left the orphanage with Fang's father, he was carrying Lisa's photo with him. Fang's dad asked him to say goodbye to his friends, but Sheng replied that his one friend would stop him from leaving, so he didn't say goodbye to anyone. This might be why Lisa is still upset with Sheng, and that is why she doesn't want to talk about the past. Sheng then asks Lisa to start working at the restaurant from the next day, but she says she wants to quit and open her own restaurant. This makes Sheng angry. He reminds her that she has signed a contract with him, which means she has to give a month's notice before leaving her job. Sheng tells her she can't leave now, or he will deduct her salary and not give her anything. Then he walks away, leaving Lisa quite sad. Despite that argument, Lisa decides to go back to work, but she doesn't do anything properly anymore. Sheng feels upset because Lisa isn't doing her job properly anymore. He asks her why she is acting this way, not realizing that this is the expected behavior from an employee who is on their notice period. Actually, it was Danny who advised her to mess up her work if she wanted to quit, so that Sheng would have a reason to fire her. Now she seems to be following that advice by not focusing on her tasks. Meanwhile, Sheba goes to a store and finds out that Danny, who often changes jobs, is working there now. Danny asks Sheba if she has checked his resume because he applied for a job at her hotel. Sheba replies that her hotel is not hiring any clowns at the moment, so she is not interested in him. With that, she goes back, and Danny looks at her desperately. On the other side, Lisa plans to head home after work, but Sheng doesn't let her leave since he has called a meeting. He's planning to take all his employees somewhere, but Lisa seems uninterested in the plans. Sheba joins them and expresses a desire to go along, but Sheng firmly declines. This makes Sheba unhappy, and Lisa laughs at her. Later that night, Danny can't stop talking about Sheba because all his thoughts are occupied by her. Lisa, on the other hand, feels irritated that Sheng is insisting on taking her along for the trip even though she doesn't want to go. The next day, Lisa calls Sheng, claiming she is unwell and can't come, but Sheng has already arrived to pick her up, so she has no choice but to go with him. Sheba had been observing all this, and she is feeling sad that Sheng seems to prioritize Lisa over her. This leads her to decide that she needs to teach Lisa a lesson. She concludes that Lisa's friend Danny likely knows where they are going, so she goes to Danny's workplace. However, she learns that he has gone to the dentist today. Meanwhile, Danny is telling the dentist to take out his tooth slowly. The dentist asks him to hold a bottle and press it tightly if it hurts. As the dentist is removing the tooth, Sheba arrives there, causing Danny to drop the bottle. He grabs Sheba's hand instead, and as the dentist takes out his tooth, he clenches her hand tightly, causing her pain. Later, Danny apologizes to Sheba and offers her some food items as a compensation. Sheba accepts the apology and then asks about the location where Lisa, Sheng, and their team went. At first, Danny hesitates to reveal the information, but when Sheba starts flirting with him, Danny can't resist and tells her everything. He also starts getting flustered in front of Sheba now. After reaching the location with all his employees, Sheng finds out that Sheba has also arrived there, along with Danny. Now, they are all together, and the program coordinator informs them that they have to participate in a game by acting in a drama. Sheba and Danny are happy to hear that, and meanwhile, Lisa keeps talking with Danny, which doesn't sit well with the jealous Sheng. After that, Lisa dresses as a girl from ancient China for the game and begins her search for her partner, who is none other than Sheng. She keeps looking at him because he looks very good in the old clothes. At the same time, Yang's dad tries all of the food that the hotel cooks have made but doesn't really like any of them. In the room, he tells his son Yang that his grandfather has been talking about Sheng lately, and he might bring Sheng back into the house like he did with Sheba. Yang agrees and thinks that they need to make a move fast. Meanwhile, Sheba comes to Sheng and Lisa. She talks about Sheng's brilliant looks and says that he shouldn't be with someone like Lisa who looks like a fool. Sheba thinks Lisa will result in Sheng's defeat. This makes Lisa want to clap back to Sheba, but she thinks it will be better to leave. After she leaves, Sheba asks Sheng if he really likes Lisa. She says she could have found him a better match and that he should have told her if he wanted someone on the same level as him. Sheng doesn't answer and just walks away. He then goes up to Lisa and gives her a pair of earrings, telling her that he bought it for her. Lisa becomes interested when she hears this, but Sheng changes the subject by saying that he bought them just because she is his partner in the game and not for any other reason. Then he tells Lisa to put them on and show him, but she can't do it right, so Sheng steps in to help her. At this point, they are both feeling something for each other, making the moment very sweet. But later, Sheng gets away, and Lisa only thanks him. In the next scene, everyone is getting ready for the act when all of a sudden, the program coordinator comes running in and starts telling them that someone has been killed. When they hear this, they all come to see the fake body. Actually, the game is just a real-life version of Among Us. They are going to the forest to look for hints as they try to find the killer in teams of 2. Sheng has trouble following directions along the way. This has been a problem he has had since he was a child. He can't remember the difference between left and right, as if he is Roronoa Zoro's illegitimate child. Lisa laughs at him and says that Sheng had the same problem when he was a child. She offers to help him. Sheng jokes that even though he has this flaw, he has become a famous and good-looking cook, which shows that it doesn't really bother him. But Lisa tells him how important their task is and how important it is to win the game. She leads him in the right way by taking his hand, just like she did when they were kids. At the same time, Danny and Sheba are walking together. Sheba soon gets tired. When Danny sees how hard it is for her to walk through the forest, he offers to carry her on his back. Sheba isn't sure at first, but she agrees in the end, making it a special and beautiful moment for both of them. On the other hand, Sheng and Lisa find a secret room and go inside, but it's very dark there. Sheng needs to use his cell phone torch, which has a picture of him and Lisa as the wallpaper. He quickly hides his phone because he doesn't want his secret to be revealed, but Lisa still sees it, though she isn't sure if it's her picture. They look around the room carefully until someone steals the ladder and locks the door on them out of the blue. It turns out to be Yang's dad who did this. This makes Lisa and Sheng angry, but they don't even know who did this. To make things even more tense, Sheng's phone is dead, and Lisa doesn't have hers with her. Meanwhile, Yang's father runs away from the scene. Sheba sees that something is wrong when she sees him running away, so she and Danny stop him. In the secret room, Lisa is short of breath because there isn't enough air in the locked room. She starts losing consciousness and gets more and more worried and tells Lisa to get up, but she stays asleep. Sheng tries hard to wake her up, which makes him remember how his dad hid him in the cupboard one day. Soon, some people showed up and attacked Sheng's father, killing him tragically. Sheng thinks back to how hard he cried for his dad at that time. He feels the same way about Lisa now, like he's about to lose her, and she might be slipping away from him too. At the same time, Sheba captures Yang's father and starts questioning him brutally. She questions why he is here and where her brother is. Sheba is getting ready to hit him with a baseball bat because he isn't saying anything. Her threat works and he finally gives in, saying that he has locked Sheng up at Bamboo Place. When Sheba hears this, she runs to save her brother, which makes Danny admire her boldness and follow her. Lisa is asleep the whole time, and Sheng's health has also started to get worse. He still decides to give Lisa oxygen through a kiss, which makes his heart beat faster. After a while, the scene changes to a hospital, where both Lisa and Sheng are admitted. This suggests that Sheba probably saved their lives. Lisa wakes up and sits next to Sheng, feeling very odd. She looks at him fondly, but as soon as she feels Sheng getting up, she quickly moves away and lies down on her bed. It makes Sheng laugh to know that Lisa is trying to hide the fact that she was looking at him. He walks up to her again, and this time he begins looking at her with admiration. Lisa acts like she's sleeping, but when Sheng doesn't leave, she has to act like she woke up naturally. He asks about her health, and she asks where are they. After making sure both of them are okay, Sheng helps her to put on her slippers and puts them on her feet gently. Sheng's behavior surprises Lisa. Just then, Danny shows up, looking shocked and feeling like he's at the right place but at the wrong time. And just as he's about to leave, Lisa stops him and hits him like always. Lisa's dad also comes along with them and brings food. He taps Lisa on the face with the leaves for fun, and in turn, she hits Sheng in the face by mistake. While the three of them are playing together, Sheng can only watch their antics. As they leave the hospital, Lisa talks to Danny about their plan to open a new restaurant. She does this silently so Sheng doesn't hear, but he is already jealous of them and shoves them away and walks out without saying a word. As Lisa's dad is getting into a cab, he calls out to Sheng and asks him to come with them too. Lisa doesn't want Sheng to come, so she quickly gets into the car. But Sheng holds the door to the car and asks Lisa if she remembers the fish he sent her a day or two ago. In response, she says yes and adds that she still has it. Sheng then says he wants to see it at her house, which makes Lisa react impatiently. She's about to hit herself in the head with the roof of the car, but Sheng puts his hand there to protect her. He then says goodbye to Lisa with love before going. Yang then comes to pick up Sheng and says he's sorry for what his father did. He asks Sheng not to call the police and says it will be Yang's father's last mistake. Sheng agrees and tells Yang to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. After dropping Sheng off at his destination, Sheng's assistant comes to meet Yang. He asks the girl how his father knew where Sheng was. She replies that Yang's father had asked her where Sheng was, and she told him. Yang gets angry at her first, but then kindly asks her to let him know next time before telling his father something like that without first asking him. Later, Grandpa scolds Sheba during lunch for not paying attention to the restaurant. He is worried that if this keeps up, the hotel's rating will go down. Yang's father agrees with Grandpa, and then starts to lecture Sheba about her carelessness. Sheba gets fired up when she hears this and asks if she should remind him of what he did yesterday. This makes the man quiet down because he doesn't want his dad to learn about his ill doings, and Yang cleverly changes the subject so Grandpa doesn't find out more. Later, Sheng sends Lisa a message asking her to get groceries to his house, while she is busy setting up her new restaurant. Lisa doesn't bring the goods herself, but instead sends a delivery boy, and Sheng is not happy about it. Meanwhile, in her hotel, Sheba casually hangs out in the kitchen because she doesn't feel like doing anything. A cook tells her to go for a walk to feel better. When Sheba comes out, she starts playing the shooting game right away because she is very good at shooting. All of a sudden, Danny shows up there too. When he sees Sheba, he's very happy and asks if he can help her win the game. She says no, stating she is a strong, independent woman who can do it on her own and doesn't need any help. When Sheba hits the target with arrows over and over, Danny thinks that she's great. However, Sheba is not in a good mood today, and she walks ahead quietly with Danny following her. Sheba feels bad about seeing her brother Sheng being targeted by his own estranged family. She notices Danny behind her and asks him why he's following her. He tells her that he wants to make her happy. She gives him a chance, and Danny takes Sheba to play cards, where they both have a great time. After that, they watch fireworks together, and Sheba looks really happy. The next day, Sheba visits Sheng and cooks for him, where she asks him about the next competition he is going to take part in. Sheng brings up the name of the rival and thinks about Sheba's role as head chef. He asks her why she hasn't left that spot, telling her about his future plans to against Grandpa's hotel and saying he doesn't want to defeat her. Sheba tells him that she's sticking with her job because she thinks she is the only one who can beat him. Sheng looks angry at Sheba as she says goodbye and leaves hastily after hearing this. When Sheba gets outside, she looks back at Sheng's apartment. She wants to tell him that she is doing everything for her brother, even though he doesn't understand it right now. In the next scene, Sheng locks the door of the warehouse of his kitchen so that he and Lisa can have a private talk. Since they kissed, he feels more and more drawn to her. Lisa tries to get out, but Sheng pins her against the shelves and asks her if she recalls what happened when they were locked in the underground room. But before he can complete the statement, she gets a call. Sheng tells her not to answer the phone if it is from Danny, but Lisa tells him that it's her dad. She tells Sheng that she has to go because her dad is sick. As Lisa walks away, Sheng calls her, but she doesn't stop. It turns out that Danny made the call from Lisa's dad's phone as part of their plan. This made it easy for her to get out from Sheng's restaurant to her new restaurant fast. The next day, Danny buys Sheba a helmet as a present. He visits her hotel to gift it to her, but is told to wait outside of the hotel because Sheba is busy. The manager tells Sheba that someone wants to meet her, but she tells the person to wait because she is very busy. Danny waits, even as it gets dark, while Sheba is still working and has got very tired. She tells the cooks to leave because she has a stomachache. On the other hand, Khan is still outside, and the manager angrily asks him why has he not left yet. Danny says that he won't leave until he meets Chef Sheba and asks to be let in, promising the manager that he won't take long. Finally, the manager has pity on him and agrees to let Danny in. At the same time, Sheba's stomach pain gets worse, which makes her pass out and lose awareness. Danny sees Sheba unconscious and quickly comes to her help. He puts on the new helmet on her head and rides his bike to the hospital with Sheba. On the other side, Sheng goes to Lisa's place to talk to her. At first, Lisa didn't want to let him in, but Sheng finally convinced her by showing her a big aquarium as proof of his promise to see the fish. Sheng looks around the whole house carefully since it's his first time there. Then he looks at the fish and doesn't like how it's looking. He asks Lisa if she's not taking care of it right. Lisa tells him that she will take care of it. While putting the fish from the bowl into the tank, some water splashes on Lisa's face, and Sheng delicately cleans her face. Lisa's heart beats faster when Sheng is close, but she takes a step back, and then Sheng asks her if she remembers the day they were locked in together. He tells her that she seemed a little aware when he kisses her, which surprises her. Lisa is just acting shocked, because she was partially conscious when Sheng kissed her. However, she says she wasn't really aware of it at all. He tells her that he did everything just to give her oxygen and says he's sorry if that's what making her avoid him. Lisa tells him not to worry and says he doesn't need to say sorry because the kiss was just like a dog licking her face, and she doesn't mind it that much. Sheng is offended, but Lisa quickly turns her attention to the fish to change the topic. After that, Sheng asks her if she hates him now. He claims that this is important to him, and he doesn't want her to ignore or hate him. Lisa says she doesn't hate him and adds that she's just been very busy lately and doesn't have much time to talk. Sheng is glad, so he says goodbye to Lisa gently and walks away. Lisa is happy about what they talked about for the first time in forever. She only keeps looking at Sheng when she goes to the kitchen the next day. She tries to do her work, but she can't help but look at Sheng. She slowly starts liking Sheng more and more. Sheng then asks her for something, and Lisa happily goes and gets it for him. At the same time, Sheba, who is smiling a lot to herself, she starts to think back to when she left the hospital. She found the helmet Danny gifted her, and also noticed the writing on the helmet that said, "I like you," which made her feel very happy. It looks like she may have started to like Danny too. Meanwhile, Lisa finally opens her new shop. Danny is very scared and doesn't know if it will work. In spite of this, he goes out and asks people to come to the restaurant, but no one shows up. The restaurant stays empty all day. Danny feels down when their business doesn't get any customers, but Lisa comforts him and tells them not to give up. The restaurant still has trouble getting customers, even after Lisa and Danny work harder the next day. A few days go by with no customers coming in. Soon, Lisa is outside of Sheng's restaurant, and she sees that his nameplate has 5 stars, while hers doesn't have a single one. Sheng shows up suddenly and asks what she's thinking. Lisa says she's interested in how Sheng got his 5-star rating so fast. He says that he got it by beating famous chefs in knife competitions. Lisa is interested and asks Sheng to teach her how to cook. Sheng isn't sure at first because he has a lot going on and he claims that he needs to be paid for teaching. Lisa sends 1,000 yuan to Sheng as payment and asks for cooking classes, and he decides to indulge her. He tells Lisa to wear the chef's uniform. She asks Sheng to help her because she can't tie the dress at the back. And as he does it, things get a little bit steamy. Also, Lisa hasn't told Sheng about his new restaurant yet, so he doesn't know what he is helping her for. They start cooking together, and Sheng teaches her a lot about things like how to keep the taste of food despite heavily cooking. He tells Lisa all the tricks that only a big chef knows. Lisa sleeps right in the kitchen, and in the morning, Sheng smiles lovingly as he sees her. He then gently wakes Lisa up, telling her that their job isn't done yet. He claims that there is a place they need to go together. Lisa agrees when she hears this, and the two of them get in a car and drive to a place she has no idea about. Sheng tells her that they are going camping and suggests that she let her friend know that she will be gone for a while. Lisa is shocked at first, but she later sends Danny a message, telling him that their plans have changed and he will have to run the restaurant by himself for the day. After a while, Sheba shows up at Danny's location. Danny wants to know why Sheba isn't wearing the helmet he gave her. Sheba acts like she doesn't care about Danny, but she really does like him. She asks him to come for a ride with her, and Danny is glad she wants to go out with him. But as he gets on her bike, he remembers that he needs to take care of the business by himself, so he says that he can't come today because he is busy. This makes Sheba mad, so she leaves. After that, Danny writes Lisa a message telling her how much he suffered because of her today. He is sad because he wanted to spend time with Sheba and was forced to watch her leave. That's the end of the video. Tell us what you think about it in the comments and leave a like if you enjoyed it.